Welcome to All Things Current in California Politics. I'm Walt Gray, joined again this week by Rich Ehisen, editor-in-chief of Capital Weekly publication. Rich, good to have you here. The California State Democratic Convention is wrapping up later today in Anaheim. Do you expect anything, any change of course, any changes to come from that?
Well, it's interesting. I've been talking with a lot of Democratic leaders and influencers, that kind of thing, for quite a while. And, a lot of them have expressed a very common theme, which is the real need to reconnect with their core base. They've really veered heavily towards social justice issues in recent years, and there's certainly valid reasons to do that. But of course, I think they all acknowledge maybe they've lost some of their core base in the working middle class. And I know they are planning very diligently right now about how to retake the House. And, those are congressional seats. I think they feel pretty safe here in terms of the state legislature and the statewide offices. But I think they know they really need to be carving a new pathway back toward that core base. And so I think everything that's going to come out of this is going to be aimed that direction.
Well, we'll see who's going to be at the top of the state ticket coming up in, a year and a half or so. The great political columnist of the LA Times, George Skelton, recently wrote that Kamala Harris has not shown much interest in being California governor. What do you think about that?
Well, governor, president, those are positions where 50% of the job is wanting it, right? And I'm with George. I'm not real sure she wants it right now. I mean, granted, now look, she has lots of options. She could go into the private sector, probably make a much better living than she'll make in government. There's a big part of me that thinks she's still pondering another run at the presidency. There's no necessary need for her to declare something right now, but I guarantee the one thing that's interesting, a lot of the Dems initially said, if she gets in, we're going to get out. And now no one is saying that. And they're all saying, no, I'm in it to the end. Betty Yee and Katie Porter and Javier Becerra and Antonio Villaraigosa. In fact, he came out and said, I'd love to run against her. So, the longer she waits, the stronger that in-party opposition is going to get.
What happened with Senate Bill 286? Senate Democrats are said to have quietly killed that by really not paying too much attention to that. That was about violent sex offenders. Yeah. Capital Weekly did something on this.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So in California, there is a law that allows prisoners who have reached the age of 50 and have served at least 20 years of their sentence to be eligible for, they call it the elderly parole program. So there's a few crimes that are excluded, but major sex crimes are not among them. And so this bill, which was by Senator Brian Jones from San Diego, would have added a number of sexual offenses, if you'd been convicted of those, to be making you ineligible for this program. And it passed all its committees unanimously, but it died in the suspense hearings, part of the Senate Appropriations Committee.
Rich Ehisen, thank you. You can reach out to Rich Ehisen if you'd like to. Rich.Ehisen at capitalweekly.net.